Hey, so I want to thank you guys so much for the 32,000 subscribers. That really does mean a lot. Hi, welcome to JO. If new to my channel, please click subscribe and click the bell button so you'll be the first to know when I upload. I'd really appreciate it if you do subscribe and you click the bell, you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for the 32,000 subscribers. Let me put this chair down real quick. Like it really, it really does mean a lot to me. It's very hard to grow your channel. You know, this channel is almost 5 years old by October 2021, and so sometimes I personally think that like why is everyone surprised about channel growth, or why people think it's hard and stuff. I don't know if the wording for that is Stockholm syndrome, because I've always been the type of person that really never gave myself credit. So to even think that a lot of people believe, even big creators that talk about how to grow your channel, believe that 32,000 subscribers, hell, even 10,000 subscribers is an accomplishment, because according to big creators who cover YouTube, 90% of people don't get to that point. They quit, so it's all about dedication, consistency, strategy, preparation, luck, if you want to call it luck. I just believe in energy, that you can actually do it. I don't call it luck anymore. And so I personally want to thank you guys so much for that. And I don't want to keep rambling about that situation, because I know you guys came for this video for a reason. So over the past several months, since July 7th, 2020 is when I quit my job, and I just decided that, hey, I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to work for myself. I want to live life to my own experience in my own terms. And so this question is going to be an icebreaker question. And that question to you is, how are you feeling at the moment? And how has this COVID situation helped you, or even did it not help you during the situation? I personally feel like it's a mix of both for myself. I'm going to answer the icebreaker question. I've been truly, sometimes I feel isolated, being at home by myself and not really having human communication. And I've also been questioning like some things, and whether it's personal, romantical relationships. I've been thinking about other skills and ways to make money, because I personally think this time, when we are essentially in this lockdown, is a time to have a self-reflection period and really journal out things that you want to accomplish. And so that's one of the things that makes this pandemic, I know a lot of you may not like it, but it makes it a positivity. So you can actually get a skill and learn from that, and possibly, monetize that skill so you can live the life that you truly want. But anyways, I want you guys to watch this clip, and I'll come back with some more.
Decision to stop selling the 6 Dr. Seuss titles that his family pulled from publication over racist imagery. Meghan, do you consider this a free speech issue?
I always think sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I always want to know what my enemies are thinking. So when it comes to banning things like Mein Kampf, although it's obviously one of the most despicable, dangerous, and evil publications that's ever been written, I'm not for banning it, because I always want to learn from history. I'm also not a fan of censorship, and I think the question for a lot of people, and I hate making this political, because I actually think there's a lot more nuance in this being a left-right issue, is that it's not just the canceling of Dr. Seuss. It's Mr. Potato Head, it's Pepe Le Pew, it's various cartoons and things that, yes, of course, we should reassess things that hurt people and make people feel uncomfortable. But I think there's a big difference between wanting to remove a statue of, Calhoun in the South, which is clearly a symbol of racism and the Confederate Army, that brings back lots of pain and lots of dark memories in our country, and then cartoons. And I just think there's a lot of nuance in this, and I think part of the culture war issue that's going on right now is the difference of opinion between wanting things to still exist and learn from mistakes of the past, and things that won't. And I don't see it ending anytime soon.
That's so sad. I mean, I just heard that they were taking Pepe Le Pew out of Space Jam. And I think to myself, well, couldn't y'all have just written a couple of lines to say, Pepe doesn't do that anymore because he knows it's not okay to jump on other skunks who may not be as interested in him as he's interested. I don't know why you got to erase everything. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But Joy, what do you make of all this uproar?
Well, nobody likes Pepe Le Pew anyway. He smells. So he's not exactly
I
a role
do.
model. Just FYI.
I like
I mean,
Pepe.
that's why they call him Pepe Le Pew. But a lot of this pearl clutching, as they call it, is coming from Fox and right-wing media, and it's a distraction, as Sonny said, from the fact that not a single Republican in the Senate voted for the COVID relief package, which is popular with 60% of Americans. That same party that voted 100% in lockstep to give tax breaks to rich people. So they don't want you to notice this because it's not popular in this country to vote against COVID relief from putting food on the tables of Americans who are suffering. That's what they're doing right now. That is the distraction. Let's be clear.
Never been a hot topic on the show. It's because 9% of the bill is actually going to COVID relief. Out of all that, it's completely filled with pork, and it's basically a left-wing fever dream of things that are pushed into this bill along with it. That was conservatives' problem with it, and now that we have
so that's 60% of the Americans.
No, I think that we should have that relief bill only going to COVID relief, not for anything else. Only paychecks to average Americans. 9% of that entire bill is going to Americans. That's the problem conservatives with it. It's not because we hate poor people and we don't want people to have help during the worst economic crisis of my generation. And I think that narrative and framing of it is not only wildly insulting, but it's actually inaccurate. Over it today.
By the way,
and I love George Washington.
What's Republicans
over it today.
Fans of free enterprise.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a break now because it isn't working as well as we like. We'll be back.
So I like to read the comments on the Views channel, and one person did mention that the 9% out of the $1.9 trillion bill that was passed was not essentially the totality of going to COVID, but according to what I read, Meghan McCain actually was correct that 9% is going to COVID, but there's other things that is factoring into the $1.9 trillion bill, which is why that this bill was a partisan issue. Republicans didn't like it, did not vote on it, which is the reason why Republicans are literally pissed off about the whole COVID bill and the whole situation. But let's literally talk about what this bill covers, okay? Because it's not just COVID, it's other things that factors into your health and factors into this pandemic. So according to NBC News, it's a $1,400 stimulus check capped at individuals making less than $80,000 per year and households earning $160,000 per year. It's a $300 per week jobless benefit through September. It's a $350 billion for states and local government. Payments up to $3,600 per child. $34 billion to expand Obamacare subsidies. $14 billion for vaccine distribution. So, and there's actually a quote that I was reading by the New York Times, Jim Takerslide, and he says, for Biden, the plan is more than just a stimulus proposal. It is a declaration of his economic policy, one that captures the principle Democrats and liberal economists have espoused over the past decade, that the best way to stoke faster economic growth is from the bottom up. Mr. Biden's approach in his first major economic legislation is in stark contrast to President Donald J. Trump's, whose initial efforts in Congress was a tax cut package in 2017 that largely benefited corporations and wealthier Americans. So literally what this person is saying is, and from what I got from reading this, is it takes a catastrophic event on America, literally a Great Depression on America, for something like a proposal like this to even get passed, despite if COVID or if international violence has occurred. So Biden is actually taking advantage and contributing other factors into this proposal so he wouldn't have to, fight it. So, I mean, kill two birds with one stone. But one thing I really want to look at and really research on is, what is that $350 billion for states or local government? What is that essentially is? What does that mean? Because I know it could be about infrastructure. It could be about oil refineries. It could be about, I don't know, post office. I don't know, because sometimes I do think that money goes to these governments and they aren't really for the people. So that's one thing I really want to look at and look about. But so I do disagree with Meghan McCain because, $14 billion for vaccines, $34 billion for Obamacare subsidies, which I'm sure she's against because of health care. And so the $1,400 stimulus checks, the $300 per week for jobless benefits through September. A lot of people are unemployed, and the $3,600 per child. I mean, but the only thing I really want to look into is where is that $350 billion going to go to? Like, what is it for in the local and state governments? That's what I really want to know. And I think you as viewers deserve to know where it's going from. If any political or news junkie people in the comments below, please help me and explain to that, because you are a part of the channel of where this is actually going. So, of course, there was this big debacle about the $15 minimum wage not going through. There was a senator that went viral on a video, and she put the thumbs down like this about the $15 per hour. And that was a sort of deja vu moment for that situation, because John McCain also did the same narrative of doing this by repealing the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare. So I made a huge statement on my community page, and I got so many comments of people bashing me, saying that I basically said I don't agree with the $15 minimum wage. I said stop having babies at the age of 18, acquire a job and a skill to get more money, something to that effect of. And a lot of people in the comments basically just read me for filth and bashed me. And so I'm not saying that I don't agree with the $15 minimum wage. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not going to rely on a $15 minimum wage. I'm not going to rely on a Biden or the government to help me get to where I want to go and get the money that I need to get. And for me personally, my situation has always been, I've always been a person that plays it safe. I've always been someone that's an old soul, that's career minded. At 15 years old, dude, and less than 15 years old, in middle school, I was thinking about careers at the 6th grade. I wasn't thinking about, going to the clubs, drinking, doing puffing and passing like all of these children was doing. I was thinking about a career. And so I've always been in a world in my mind. My mind is my world. Media and television and music has always been my world. And so also depression has been my world, which pushed me back and stopped me. And then I've been through situations that literally for years put me in a dark place. So I'm not saying I'm against the $15 minimum wage. I'm personally, from my situation, I'm saying I don't care. That's what I'm saying. And so I finally just realized at the age of 28, I no longer want to work for anybody. I no longer want to have somebody dictate what my money should be, hourly or salary. I don't want that anymore. So I took a risk on July 7th, 2020 during COVID. And I said, hey, I got some money saved up. This Uber thing is not too bad. And this YouTube thing ain't too bad. And it could be great if I literally dedicate myself to it. And so far, thank you, God, it's been pretty steady for that. Thank you, God. So I'm not saying I'm against it. What I'm saying is I'm not relying on it. And that's what I'm saying. And I wish everyone's situation to be the greatest. And I kind of felt bad about making that comment, because it took me back to childhood when I was relying on a single parent household, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 other siblings and having no vehicle and relying on a neighbor to take us to go shopping, So, I mean, I feel you on that. I honestly feel you on that. But I want you to also realize, you that are watching, that you are more than $15 an hour. You are more than someone just telling you, hey, this is what your wage is going to be. Because a lot of times these jobs, these corporations are going to lowball you with the money. They're going to offer you the minimal amount. So you're doing yourself a disservice with the fact that you are an American, or, you are now living in the United States of America. There's a land of opportunity still. So explore other things, explore digital marketing, explore the internet, explore all of this is literally gold for you. It's just all about learning and education, and it's really not hard to make money online nowadays. So explore other avenues, and pursue your dreams, and don't rely on a $15 minimum wage and rely on somebody that's really not going to benefit you, and it's only going to think about themselves. So that's what I was saying. And lastly, and not least, I know I have different races on my channel, but if you are a member of my channel, I talk about race and I talk about things that are uncomfortable. But my version is to talk about these uncomfortable things, because if we don't talk about it, then things don't move forward. Okay, we only going to be stagnant or moving backwards. So, as a white woman, I personally feel that Meghan McCain has no right to talk about Black issues, to talk about people of color issues, and to talk about things that literally she would never ever have to experience in her lifetime. I personally feel that way. I myself have no right to talk about Black issues because I'm not African American, okay? I only can speak about my experience. I only can speak about my experience being a first generation Palestinian American. I could only speak about my experience of what goes on in Palestine, and how literally the people over there are dealing with what African Americans dealt with in the past, which is the reason why I relate to the whole like movement and situations, because it's really saddening and really dark about what I hear and what I see that goes on overseas, with limited education, with not being able to marry a lover because they are over the border, about limited electricity, about limited goods, about people literally growing agriculture overseas because they use that to as a business to rely on their kids to go to school. But the fact that they're being demolished by the apartheid is overseas. So these things I can talk about because I relate to, and these things that I'm talking about now that I just listed literally relates to the oppression that your ancestors as an African American went through. But the thing is, Black people, you guys have a voice here. You guys have a voice here in the United States of America. And so whether or not these politicians like it, they know they have to abide by it. And I'm telling you, based on where I come from and what my people have to endure, they don't like it. They don't like that you guys have a voice. I don't care if they're pro you or against you, because they have no other choice. Like Biden has no other choice but to fall in line with Black America, because statistically, a politician didn't win an election without the Black vote. So, I mean, that's just facts. So whether or not he likes it or not, it doesn't matter, because you guys have that power and he has to fall in line. So this is why I personally feel that I said he's basic. And this is why I personally feel that he's inauthentic and he's only falling in line with Black America because he has no other choice. That's what I'm just saying. So let me know what you think about that in the comments below. So anyways, let me know how you're feeling. That's my icebreaker question currently at the moment. I told you I'm feeling isolated. I honestly, I wholeheartedly do appreciate 32,000 subscribers. You guys, I literally have no friends in my personal life, and you guys give me, just, I don't know, attention, and you guys make me feel like I have something to say, because it's lonely out here. It's like nobody wants to talk to anyone, and there's just no, locally speaking, or just, I don't know, human reaction speaking, there's just no loyalty and there's no communication going on anymore with human beings. And I appreciate you guys. I really do. I honestly do. And I don't think I say that ever. And I'm going to say that from now on. So I'm grateful. Deuces, subscribe, click the bell. Yeah.